Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, has dropped some major news about Marvel and Star Wars products moving forward. And if you haven't been keeping up, there's been a massive strike with writers, and now actors have also joined this strike. And Bob Iger sat down to do an interview with CNBC, and this is part of that interview. So let's take a look and react to it. All right, let's see what he has to say.
Problem though at Disney Animation is the loss of John Lasseter years ago, for example, been a blow that you haven't been able to recover from?
Well, first of all, the studio and its movie assets are #1 at the global box office this year so far. That said, we're extremely realistic, and I'm very objective about that business, and there have been some disappointments. We would have liked some of our more recent releases to have performed better. It's reflective.
Yeah, they've not been doing very well at all, especially over at Lucasfilm.
In our zeal to basically grow our content significantly to serve our mostly our streaming offerings, we ended up taxing our people way beyond in terms of their time and their focus.
Oh my God, I can tell you that much. They want to release stuff every month. That's a lot of work.
In the TV business at any significant level.
They didn't think about that?
Their movie output, but they ended up making a number of television series, and frankly, it diluted focus and attention. And I think
okay, right there, 100% agree. I've been saying that Marvel is spreading their stuff way too thin. I don't think Star Wars is at that level that Marvel's at, but Marvel is 100% spread themselves way too thin, and it's diluting their focus, like you just said.
Is, I think, more the cause than anything else.
And Pixar, I mean, we've talked through the years.
Pixar, yeah, they also had a
was a real
massive
event.
bust.
Did it suffer as a result of during COVID when you were going direct to consumer? For example, I think it was Red or one of the fairly
Yes,
big movies
there were three Pixar releases in a row that went direct to streaming, in part mostly because of COVID. And I think that
and
have created an expectation in the
I don't know, I don't get it. You gotta release some movie theaters if you want to make the money
quickly, and there wasn't an urgency. And then I think there was some. I think you'd have to agree that there were some creative misses as well.
Okay, so they're admitting that maybe some of their movies aren't that good. He just admitted that. Some creative misses as it. They just weren't that good.
The company is 100 years old. Walt Disney went into the animation business starting with shorts in the 1920s, and obviously his big first feature with Snow White in 1937. If you look at his history, there were peaks and there were valleys. Every valley was followed by a peak, and I studied it very carefully. It's true in my predecessor Michael Eisner's days too. He had great halcyon days of Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid and Lion King, and just this tremendous success. And then there's a dip. I'm not suggesting we're necessarily in that, but I'm also not suggesting that we're at a peak either.
Okay, they're definitely in a dip. They're losing so much money. I mean, this is going to be a typical response from a CEO of a company, right? You don't want to be like, yeah, we're kind of trash right now. That's not it. And honestly, they've had a lot more misses recently. Just Disney as a whole, they've had a lot more misses than they have had hits. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how much trouble he's in particular. Maybe he's in some trouble, but I definitely think people like Kathleen Kennedy are in trouble.
We have some work to do there in terms of improving our creative output.
Did the loss of Lasseter, was it a blow to the company over time?
Look, there's a lot of talent at Pixar. There has been turnover as well, not just John, but there's
Wonder why
turnover too, and that may have had some impact.
But you're confident that the production of Pixar animation, for example, and the Disney studio overall is going to continue to be strong?
Correct.
Marvel and Star Wars?
What did he just say?
To continue to be strong.
What did you just say?
Correct.
Marvel? What is Marvel? I know he's trying to say Marvel, but
Star Wars, too much. I mean, you almost indicated kind of it's been a little much. Do you pull back in a way?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah.
Oof. Ooh, that's yikes. Pull back how though?
You pull back not just to focus, but it's also part of our cost containment initiative. Spending less on what we make and making less.
Oh no. So they're running out of money, pretty much, to make these projects that we love, like superheroes and Star Wars for Marvel and Star Wars. Um, but to find focus, that's the thing. That's the thing right there. Contain costs. They've had a lot of misses, so obviously they want to take a step back and not spend as much money. Because originally they wanted to put out a new Marvel project every single month, so we weren't starving for Marvel. But like I said earlier, they spread themselves too thin. They're spending a bunch of money on these, and honestly, they just haven't been that good. They're rushing CGI. They're rushing these artists to finish CGI faster, so they can put it out quicker. And it looks so bad. It takes you out of the story, so people aren't watching. Getting poor reviews. Star Wars. That's interesting. I don't know.
Now, of course, it used to be that some of that stuff would then go to Netflix, and you'd make a lot of money from selling it in different distribution channels. Now it all just goes to Disney Plus. Do you ever think about how much money
we shouldn't have done that?
Not that you shouldn't have done it, but that there's still. I mean, the old model worked pretty well.
It's kind of interesting because I think if we did, well, the old model worked when it was a blend of basically business models. It wasn't the only model. The licensing model was part of a collection of models. I think if we hadn't done it, everyone would be saying, why isn't Disney going to the streaming business? You know, and as it turns out, I think we made the right decision there to go into that business. It will be a growth business for us. We will turn it around. I'm confident of that. It will become profitable, and it will deliver growth for the company.
Yeah, we'll see.
It will be an important business because that direct-to-consumer model where you have a relationship with your consumers, which we lacked, frankly, as a company, except in our parks and resorts business.
That's one of the biggest things I agree with right there. They don't have a connection with their consumers. They don't know what we want. They know what they want. They know what the Hollywood people want. So that's what they make. And it's not been working for them. So now it's time they take a step back and ask us what we think. So honestly, man, I don't even know. This might be a good thing, but it could also be a really bad thing in that they don't make any real changes and this is all for show. We'll see. So now that we've heard the CEO of Disney say they've spread themselves too thin, which a lot of us have already been saying, and he even said that there have been creative misses, meaning essentially, in our terms, some of the movies and shows have not been good. So now they're taking a step back to focus, whatever that means. I don't quite know what that means. They even discussed selling off some things, which he doesn't want to do, obviously, which kind of nips the rumors of them selling Lucasfilm. So I figured they wouldn't, but they're not making money, so they have to take a step back. And he even mentioned that they don't have a connection with the consumers, which we've also been saying. A lot of us creators have been saying that for a while now. They're not making things that we want to see. They're making things that they feel they want to see, or they think that we want to see. But now they should just ask the people and gauge that reaction to make things that we as the consumers of their products want to see. This is a really fascinating interview. It gives me a little bit of hope for Marvel and Star Wars, but it all comes down to what they mean by focus and what actions they're going to take to actually bring fans together, because obviously Marvel fans and Star Wars fans are very passionate about these characters and these stories, and we're very split right now. So maybe they can bring us all together and get behind them again, like they were for Phase 1 through 3 for Marvel. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, drop a like on it, and let me know what you think about this news about Marvel and Star Wars. Do you think it's good, bad? What do you think is going to come of it? Will they actually make any changes? That's going to be all for this. See you guys next time. Peace.